we decided to set up multidisciplinary teams for the three main issues that affect children's welfare, which is parental substance misuse, domestic abuse and adult mental health issues. We wanted to get away from the adversarial approach in the procedures for how you have to do child protection. We decided to adopt something which is called motivational interviewing, so that we could engage parents in working with us so we could help them to change. We needed to reduce the bureaucracy because the more time staff spend on computers, the less time they have to do anything to help children and families. And we also needed the means for recording the views of the mental health specialists and the domestic abuse specialists we had in the teams. The workbook is something that we worked with Liquid Logic to develop to try and help reduce bureaucracy for social workers.
They had a clear plan and vision for what they wanted to do with IT to support their children's and adult services. And that was an integrated solution that went across the whole gamut, from education services to early help to children's social care and adult social care.
It was something that would help us reduce the number of times and places where we had to record information, and instead be able to recycle information that was in one bit of the IT system and use it for multiple purposes. We've had massive support for our project from our IT team in the county. They're not just enablers, of a performance collection system. They are helping us to develop therapeutic work with families.
There were discussions held with Liquid Logic to enable them to go away and come up with the sort of initial basic system that they developed for us. And from there, we've then built on that, and we've populated the various different forms that were provided. And that's developed over time as we've got further feedback from our practitioners, as they've said, it'd be really useful if the system did X, Y or Z.
From the first iteration of the workbook, it's very, very different. And when we shared that with Liquid Logic a few weeks ago, they were quite amazed at how different it was now looking and how we'd further developed it ourselves.
It's been a big change, I think, for our practitioners, but they've sort of coped, they've got their heads around it, I think, now, and they're embracing it.
Since we've gone from doing case notes for everything to the workbook, it's given us the opportunity to put everything in one place. It's easier to see within a month what has happened with the family rather than scrolling through a lot of case notes, some of which might not be relevant. They might be uploading documents and you sort of lose sight of what your actual work with that family is.
You can see all of that information and it evidences the journey for that family, which is really quite important to see what has been done all in one kind of area, along with the adult workers as well. So it's really quite efficient in terms of timing and being able to look over the information to review what's already been done.
What we've produced together at the end of this process is something whereby we can record a piece of information once and use it in multiple formats. We can use minutes from meetings to create reports so that the social worker only spends half the time doing the bureaucratic work. And the end point of this was to enable social workers to spend more time working directly with children and families. And that's something that we've achieved.